Thank you so much, Senator Booker. It's wonderful to be here with you and all of my colleagues. As Senator Booker has said in his own powerful way, extending this expanded child tax credit is not only the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do. And I have found that to be true very often in our public policy, that more often than not, the right thing to do is a smart thing to do. And were it not for the politics of Washington, this would be a no-brainer. And so I just want to underscore that this is the largest.
Now, Chuck Schumer has proposed a few changes to President Biden's spending bill. These changes will greatly affect many families and Social Security beneficiaries. Here is the latest and most up-to-date stimulus check, Social Security, and SSI, SSDI information that you have to know. So you want to be sure to stand to the end of the video, folks. So we will see a lot of action be taken by congressional Democrats this week. Lawmakers are going to be very busy with a packed to-do list, which includes potential election reform, government funding, and getting important parts of President Biden's economic agenda signed into law. So the slow movement on getting any bills passed in Congress has definitely prompted some angst among Democrats, specifically the frontliners running for re-election. With Biden's approval ratings drastically decreasing, Democratic lawmakers are scrambling to demonstrate success by delivering on past promises to the American people, like curbing prescription costs. But there remains a big obstacle in the way, and that is Joe Manchin. I know many of you were disappointed when Manchin came out in opposition to the package, but some Democrats are urging the Senate to pass a chunk of the bill before others. A group of lawmakers want to advance the $555 billion portion of the package focused on combating the climate crisis. But this section is different than others because it is a section of the bill that Manchin previously said he could support. A representative of New Jersey said that climate change simply should not be a partisan issue, and it is just something that we must do. Now, Joe Biden has already said he believed the Democratic Party could agree to the climate section of the plan, largely made up of tax credits designed to ease the transition to cleaner energy sources. The good news is that Manchin appears interested in working with Senator Susan Collins of Maine and a group of over a dozen senators on a bipartisan election reform deal. Joe Manchin told Insider, "We can work on everything, but election reform is a thing. We want to make sure we get done quickly." Manchin added that future negotiations on the centerpiece of Biden's agenda will be starting from scratch. Momentum is also building on Congress for more stimulus relief, funding to support low-income Americans, restaurants, and other businesses struggling to stay afloat in the face of the latest wave of the crisis. Now, this is some awesome news, friends. I know many seniors and families could use more relief right now, and lawmakers involved in negotiations say support has been funding aimed at supporting Americans and businesses that have been negatively impacted by the crisis. Democratic Senator Ben Cardin is the chair of the Senate Small Business and Entrepreneurship Committee. Cardin expressed optimism when discussing Senator Rogers' effort to gain more backing for the push among their colleagues. The senators told The Hill that we are continuing to get bipartisan support. Cardin also said the primary focus in talks has been to replenish relief funding for Americans and restaurants, after a previous batch of funds allocated by Congress ran out months back. Advocates say that funding would come at a crucial time, as restaurants continue to grapple with the economic effects of the ongoing crisis. So I do think Congress should pass another stimulus package that provide all Americans and businesses with more financial assistance. Multiple sources are telling The Hill that the funding cannot happen soon enough, noting thousands of restaurants are closed permanently or long-term as many businesses find a hard time recovering during the crisis. It's really sad to see that many small restaurants are still incredibly vulnerable right now. Last year, lawmakers approved more than $28 billion in relief funds designated for restaurants as part of the Restaurant Revitalization Act. Advocates say that while those funds were effective in helping many restaurants remain operating in the short term, a chunk of restaurants were left behind in the process. Some advocates are also pushing lawmakers to ensure businesses in other industries receive more financial relief during the crisis.